evening and welcome again to Gallery 27. It's great to see you here and lots of new faces. A different show, as you can see, those of you familiar with this gallery, and a new project for me. I think it's just all looks wonderful in this space. Obviously Liam shows his love for Achill, and somebody else who knows a lot about Achill is our opening speaker, Molloy, Achill Tourist Manager.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to say thanks to Liam for inviting me. I'm very honoured and privileged and very thankful for this opportunity. Speaking of bogwood, I want to tell you a little story first about my first encounter with the bogwood sculpture. As a young boy in the late 70s, we had elderly neighbours, a brother and a sister actually, and I visited them most days after school, as most young children would do. And in their home was a beautiful piece of dark bogwood. It was in the form of a fox. So every day I go into the house, I used to ask, could I take down the fox from the shelf? And unfortunately the answer, it was always no. But so I used to go up onto the edge of a chair and stand on the edge of the chair and get to pet the fox, you know. So that was as much as I got to touch it. But unfortunately worse was to come, because the fox was on, they only had a radio in their home. And the fox was on this lovely old radio set with a silk or a doily on top of it, and the bogwood fox was on top of it. And unfortunately we got a television, so the radio went out somewhere, the television came in, and the bogwood fox ended up on top of the television, which was much higher, and I couldn't touch it, so I never got to touch it. So that was my first piece of bogwood, but I've been fascinated ever since. So Michael, the elderly neighbour, he described to me how he found the fox. And that's what he always said. He said he found the fox in the bog and he took it out of the wood. And that's I think that's what Liam does as well. And he showed me where he found the fox, and he's very proud of where the fox came. So I'd always every time I'd always go along this bog road, I always, even to this day, I always look in and say, this is where the fox came from. Unfortunately they passed away, and the fox went overseas when some relatives came, and I never saw the fox since the late 1980s. But it's still a picture that's always in my head. I'll never forget it. It was a beautiful piece of work, a stunning piece of work, and it always sparked the curiosity of all who visited that house. And so it is with Liam's creations as well, carefully sculpted with loving care, and sparking the curiosity far beyond what the poor old fox in Achill used to do. So Achill is renowned all over the world for its special abilities to spark and nurture the creative process in all those with artistic abilities. Paul Henry, Graham Greene, Robert Henry, Heinrich Boll and Camille Suter are all household names all over the world, and they have all drawn inspiration from their time in Achill. On returning to a trip to from Achill in the summer of 1947, Graham Greene presented his editor with the completed manuscript of The Heart of the Matter. Greene said that the last part was written in the cottage in Duwa in Achill was good. He also added to his mistress, Catherine Walston, who was there, if you had taken me to Achill 2 years later, or 2 years earlier, it all would have been good, perhaps. So I think that's the creativity that Achill instills in people. So Liam is part of a new generation of artists that hasn't just come to Achill to find inspiration, but like his sculptures and the ancient bogwoods itself, he is of Achill. And like so many from Achill before him, he had to leave Achill's shores to make a living, follow a career in hospitality in the UK, and after 25 years, Achill called him back. He hoped to continue his career within the local tourist industry, but as the saying goes, what's for you won't pass you. And a chance meeting with a man while working on his family bog changed Liam's path in life forever. The man took a piece of bog oak and placed it in the boot of his car, and Liam asked him what was it for, and he explained that he was going to polish it up and place it as an ornament in his garden. So a bet of €50 was placed in jest, and Liam said that anybody could do that. So Liam set about creating a few new pieces, and he subsequently sold them. So the rest is history. So by chance, Liam had discovered his creative side. So my role as tourism manager involves approaching local, national and international media outlets and trying to persuade them to film, to record or write about Achill. And I put proposals or stories for ideas and articles together, and hopefully that they will give us much badly needed publicity, as any tourism destination will, and for free, of course. That's the most important thing. But saying that, let me be clear, Achill is its own best publicist. I only endeavour to get the word out so that this island can speak to its journey's own ways. And to get the visitor, the first time visitor to Achill, the artist or the exile, to make the journey, that's my role. And for them, Achill can speak to each in its own terms, and it does. And indeed, it did to Liam. For me, Liam is a godsend. In this digital age, where image is king and writers and broadcasters seek out unique and authentic features, Liam's work stands head and shoulders above the rest. In just a few short weeks that I'm in the new job, 2 broadcasters have signalled an interest in coming to Achill, and the visual beauty of Liam's work has been instrumental in both projects. And I just got to tell Liam, he was just there a couple of hours ago, that the American network PBS, they're coming to Achill on Monday. They're filming the famous deserted village. The musicians from Achill's cultural summer school, Scolachla, and they also want to see Liam working in the studio at his home. So, on a personal note, I've known Liam for many years, and through many conversations with him over these years, I know the pride he feels at being an Achill man. He is conscious and proud of the fact that his work and reputation can be used to promote Achill in many ways, including as a tourist destination. And coming from the hospitality background himself, he knows the importance of this industry to an area like Achill. As the old Shanachal goes, they're saying, "Ní neart go cur le céile." That's there's no strength without unity, and I look forward to working with you on many projects over the coming months and years. Finally, let's look at some of Liam's achievements. His work has been presented to the former President Mary Robinson, to the current Tourism Minister Michael Ring, and he's had many corporate commissions for prestigious sports tournaments and individual awards. Images of his work have been flashed across Times Square in New York for the past 2 years running, and he's currently working on an exciting project with artists from the Lebanon. But let's be clear about this as well, despite his achievements to date, the future is even brighter for Liam. And I have no doubt that in years to come, when people speak of the great artistic talents that has been associated with Achill, Liam's name is going to be up there with the very best. So best of luck, Liam, with this exhibition, and once again, thank you for giving me the honour of speaking here today, and I look forward to great things for you in the future.
He's not going to share anything with us, but he, of course, will be happy to talk to anyone about his work. He loves talking about it. But his wife, Mary, would love to say a few things.
Yes, I'd just like to say thank you to everybody who's come here tonight to join us and take part in this event, and we appreciate it so much, and Liam is thrilled that you're all here. I want to say a big thank you to Sean for his lovely introduction and the story about Achill and the folks. And again, I want to say a huge thank you to Tony Strickland, our curator, who has organised and presented this evening beautifully for us. Thank you, Tony.